Trevor, what are your memories of Natasha?
Probably as a young horse, she was probably the best horse I've ever trained up until recently, I think. She had an amazing turn of foot. Even as an early 2-year-old, we always had a very high opinion of her. She just wanted a lot of ground to be able to warm into herself, but we galloped her with the likes of Kinsfolk, which was probably one of the better 2-year-olds in that year, and she was far superior to what he was. So, she always showed us an abundance of ability.
We've seen it happen numerous times throughout the decades, taking out the Oaks and Derby. She was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, she was. As I said, we had a really big opinion of her, and it wasn't until the week prior to the Oaks that she actually qualified for the Oaks. I ran her in a 2200 metre special condition race, and she was lucky enough to win that. And then she went on and won the Oaks and the Derby, and she was just a really good filly. And I think she was Bob Peters' first Group 1 winner. But she was, to this day, she's probably one of the best horses we trained, and we probably didn't get to see the best of her ability. We took her to Adelaide for the Australasian Oaks, and she ran fourth and went amiss afterwards, had a knee chip, and then subsequently died having an operation afterwards to remove the chip. But she was, from the beginning, she was very good.
And Cheer for Me is straightened up for the judge first, joined on the outside by Marvellous, followed by Natasha. Lots more spots, Higginsville and Deadly Addiction. 100 to go. Natasha's raced up on the outside, takes the lead from Marvellous. Down the outside, Deadly Addiction. Rail Breaker and lots more spots, but the fill in Natasha. Natasha's won, a length and a quarter. Rail Breaker, Deadly.
And by Old Spice, it would have been the early days of Old Spice?
She was the first crop of Old Spice. I actually was working for Bob Peters out at Yalborough Stud in Gosnells, and I came into town and I worked with Donnie Clark, and I used to ride Old Spice a lot in his work. And also Natasha's mother, Moon River, I had a fair bit to do with her as well, so I knew the family really well. Old Spice was a leading first season sire and got on to be a very good prolific sire in WA.
Heroicity, he was simply awesome in some of his victories. Lived a pretty fruitful life as well, not just on the racecourse, but once he finished racing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he ended up at stud in New Zealand, and didn't really make the grade as a racehorse, as a thoroughbred racehorse sire, but produced a lot of really good show jumpers, and they tell me that he ended up in America in his latter part of his life. But super horse. Obviously won us a BMW in Sydney, which was a $1 million race, and an Australian Derby, a WA Derby, just off the cuff of the year after we had Natasha win all those nice races. So yeah, really super horse. Was able to win at 1300, 1400. So showed you he had a electrifying turn of foot, and great memories. We're very lucky in our early days to sort of run into two such great horses.
You couldn't have asked for a better start to your training career.
No, well, I mean, that was my first 2 seasons of training, and I thought, how easy is this? But little did I know.
How was it winning the BMW at that stage, a $1 million race, and beating home TJ Smith, albeit by a very small margin?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, we beat Equidity by a nostril, and Rough Habit was a few lengths away third, but it was great to take a horse back to Sydney and beat the old boss in the BMW, and just to perform at Group 1 level in the East Coast was just a huge buzz, and it was a $1 million race, Group 1 race. They were pretty good days.
Straightening up, and Equidity is dashed clear. Equidity put 2 lengths on them. Heroicity getting into second place. Dr. Grace is under heavy pressure, followed by My Eagle Eye, and Rough Habit right down the extreme outside is going after them. But the West Aussie, Heroicity took the lead in the BMW from Equidity. Rough Habit can't reach them. Equidity kicking again. Heroicity and Equidity in a tooth and nail struggle as they come to the line. Heroicity on the outside. The youngest runner in the field wins the BMW over Equidity, and Gavin Eads congratulates the rider of Heroicity as they go past the post. Rough Habit third, close up then My Eagle Eye and Rudgick, Castletown, Dr. Grace, followed by Styly Sensory, Wellback, Cool Reception, Magnolia Hall, and tailed off the early leader Zimmergy. Gavin Eads, in a show of sportsmanship, reached across with his left hand as they went past the post and seemed to offer congratulations to Greg Hall on Heroicity.
Touched on his Derby victory here. It was back in the days where we had the Derby on Boxing Day.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, when I was a kid growing up and just sort of got involved in the game, the carnival just seemed to have so much atmosphere. You know, the likes of Smith, Cummings, Hayes, Jeff Murphy, and many other good trainers throughout Australia. They all used to carnival their horses in Perth. Boxing Day was religiously Karrakatta Day and Derby Day. I don't know whether it was because I was young and enthusiastic then or whatever, but they were just really good days, big crowds. You obviously didn't have Sky Channel and the vision we have now, but there seemed to be a lot more atmosphere at the races, and the atmosphere at the races was huge, and everybody was looking forward to getting there at Christmas time.
He's followed by Miles of Smiles, half a valley off the track, and in behind them then came Old Roll, making ground quickly from India's Dream. Into the straight, 300 to go, and Heroicity's gone to the front. From Beldivo, Old Roll running home well, followed then the outside Miles of Smiles, but 120 to go. It's Heroicity by 2 lengths from Old Roll. Beldivo lording him down the outside, but it's Heroicity's derby. He's going to be too good and wins by 2 lengths. Old Roll.
Heroicity was by Shiror. He was a big, athletic-looking grey. What was he like to train?
Yeah, lovely horse. Didn't carry a lot of condition, but very balanced, very athletic, pretty straightforward. But I didn't have to work him too hard. I remember when I took him to Sydney, and I'd only sort of let him go 1200 evers and dash up a couple of furlongs, and TJ noted to the press that this boy from Perth training this horse like a sprinter, but little did he know that he didn't need a lot of work, and probably in TJ's environment where he worked him so hard, he probably wouldn't have done as well. So very agile horse, really good turn of foot, and didn't need a lot of work.
And back home here in WA, the boy aboard at the time, he certainly knew how to boot a winner home, Mark Sestich.
He did, yeah. Mark had a fair bit to do with the horse, and he would have ridden the horse in Sydney, but he was suspended at the time. He did come over there and spend a bit of time with us, taught him how to muck the box out.